There he is.
What up, dog?
Hey, you see that vintage poster right there, bro?
Okay. That's Wake and Bacon, right?
Yes, sir.
God damn.
I was like, I think that was you and like, was it Yellow Wolf?
Yeah.
That shit's crazy. That was the first time I met you, man. Vegas.
That's fire.
2010, man. A long time ago. How you been though, bro?
Young nigga in the game. So 2010, I was 22. Wow.
Yeah, that shit crazy, bro. How's everything though?
Good.
How
I'm
you
good.
dealing
I'm
with all
chilling,
this
man.
shit?
I'm ready to get back outside, bro.
I know, man. I can only imagine like how much like show money you're missing out on right now.
It's all good. I ain't even tripping on all that.
Yeah.
We stacked up for a rainy day.
Of course.
I'm just ready for like normal human contact. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Living in panic.
It's funny because being like a DJ, like I like it becomes a job going to the club, and I be getting tired as fuck at the club, but I miss the club, and I don't like going to the club like unless I'm getting paid. But like I'm like, damn, I miss going to the club. Like
I like to do shit when I want to do it. I like to have the option to do stuff. And the fact that I don't have the option to do it and I have somebody limiting my freedom, I don't like that. I just don't like the feeling of it.
100%. Nah, I feel you, bro.
I'm over it.
The EP, let's talk about the EP. It makes sense you dropping something on 427 Records. I text you like I really enjoyed it, man. I thought it was solid. I feel like I know you're sitting on a shit ton of music.
Yeah.
And I told Will like y'all like you're in your pocket right now. Y'all just gotta keep dropping shit. Like how much other music are you sitting on right now? Like, and are we gonna get more music? Because this was kind of like a little appetizer. I feel like.
Yes, I named it the Saga of Wiz Khalifa because I think my whole career has just been all about creating dope moments, whether it's classic mixtapes or whether it's number ones or whether it's putting other artists on or collaborating with the dopest artists. I just think it's all about creating dope moments, and the next phase for me is just to create more spectacular moments for me and my fans. And these are the 7 songs that I felt like are the strongest and that are going to take us to that next level. And of course, you know, there's more to come with it. You know what I'm saying? But I just want everybody to enjoy, you know what I'm saying, the process of what I put into it and what I still have to offer from this project. And then, you know, when we move forward, I feel like everybody's going to be there at the right time.
What was like whose idea was it to do the Still Wiz shit? Because I thought like that's a hard beat to try to,
yeah.
And you did your thing on it though. It was fire.
Shout out to Hitmaker, man. I called him and was like, you know, I asked him if he ever flipped it because he's really, really good at, you know, flipping classic records from our generation.
Yeah.
And bringing them back to life for now. So that he was the only one that I felt like could really do that beat justice the way that it should be done. And when I gave him the idea, he brought me back the hook and the beat the same day. And I was able to just go to the studio and just knock that shit out. And I think we all knew that one was a hit as soon as it was done.
Yeah, that shit is fire. Yo, It's crazy because like you talked about your mixtape shit. You have classics. I mean, you got one of the biggest songs ever. We'll See You Again. But like,
right.
I mean, what is it about? Because you have 2 discographies. You got your albums and then you got your mixtapes. And Kush and Orange Juice to me is the greatest mixtape ever. I did a mixtape list last year, and that was number 1. But like, can you talk about like, I feel like your diehard fans, they always are looking at the mixtape Wiz, like Taylor Alderdice, and you got so many like Cabin Fever, like what is it about your mixtape catalog you think that people love so much? Because I feel like you're in a different bag when you're making tapes, and like what is that different mentality you're in?
I think just the organic fans love music that feels really organic, and it doesn't feel too put together, and it doesn't feel like you know, too thought about.
Right.
And that's really fun to create, you know. Those records where it's just all based off of the energy and the vibe and, you know, whatever producer's there at the time, you know what I mean? And then there's me, you know, really taking my time and focusing on records and trying to make sure that they last for a certain amount of time and that they can hang with other records of a certain caliber. And these are conscious things, you know, when I make a Black and Yellow or Weed and Boys, or, you know what I'm saying? Even something new, like if I put out a record as a single, it's something that I believe in and something that I think is going to change how people listen to music, at least for my fan base. So me coming with, you know, these 7 songs is to say that, you know, I had a great, you know, run up until now. I made a lot of consistent, you know, dope ass music, but moving forward, this is what you should expect. You can't hold my previous work from 10 years ago to now. So I'm going to give you some dope ass material now, so you know what to look forward to for at least the next 5 or 10 years coming up.
The anniversary of Kush and Orange Juice, man. I know that's a project that changed your life. It changed a lot of people's lives. I feel like it kind of changed hip hop, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a moment, kind of like your Illmatic, your Doggy Style. Like, can you kind of just give me like a story about that era? Like, what was that? What was the studio atmosphere like when you're recording that album? Because there's like Mesmerize is a record that like you do at Dre's, right? And Dre's is people from all over the world, and that's a record that is a mixtape song that's like time. It's like that's a timeless project. You know what I'm saying? But like, what was the atmosphere like recording that? Because that was after flight school, and you know you had already kind of had your buzz going, but that kind of separated you from the pack, from that mixtape blog era. That separated you from everybody else.
Yeah. I think the dope thing about music and the thing about fans is that that everybody wants to be cool. You know what I'm saying? Like when you listen to some shit, you want it to make you feel cool. And I think at that time there was a lot of different types of music that was being promoted and that was out. But for me, in the lifestyle that me and all of my friends who were artists at the time too, and still are artists, we was just doing what was cool for us. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it just kind of grew to be like the things that we liked. Like the movies that we like are really cult classic movies. So when you learn about that movie or when you meet somebody who knows that movie, you build a relationship with that person based off of that common knowledge. And that's kind of how the music began to grow, where it was like you were cool if you listen to Wiz. You was cool if you listen to Currency. You know what I'm saying? And if you weren't, it didn't mean that you weren't cool. It just meant that you could become much more cooler by learning this genre of music. And we were able to popularize that. And of course, Kush and Orange Juice happened at a time where it was sort of like the Grail, like the Bible for that lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? To where, you know, me and Currency and a lot of people like us were living it. I was getting a lot of money at that time, so, and still am. But for me at that point, you know, seeing that type of money and still being, quote unquote, like in the streets, you know, hustling, it was a cool perspective to be at, and a cool perspective to speak from, and a cool perspective to inspire people from, and to inspire them to get to. So, you know, as time moves on, I love to inspire people to reach other points and to level up as well. But that was a really, really important time frame for a lot of people, and the music and everything that went along with it just helped kick everything into gear.
Yo, what is the bigger fashion statement that you made popular? The bleach patch or the camo cargo shorts and the Chucks?
I would have to say the blonde patch, honestly. I would go with the Chucks and the camos because I can still throw that on now. Like I ain't never bleaching my hair again. But legit, the blonde patch it was like a Halloween costume.
Everybody has, even to this day, I see this shit, bro.
Yeah, and niggas call it the Wiz patch too. That's the only name for it. It's the Wiz patch. That was iconic right there.
Hey, what I thought was dope was when you went on Joe Rogan. I'm a big Joe Rogan fan. It was kind of cool to see the hip hop world collide with his world. How did your guys' relationship start up? I know there's the MMA thing. He's into that. You're into that. Like,
yeah.
How did that happen?
I think his people reached out more or less because they felt like not only did we have a lot of things in common, but it would just be interesting for us to talk. He's really picky about who he sits down and talks to because he's super smart and he's a comedian, so like he'll fucking just clown you without trying to, you know what I'm saying? And some people don't know how to take that, but he doesn't really give a fuck either. But it was just one of them situations where it was like, this could go a ton of ways. Like, y'all both just have to be ready for it. And it came out amazing. Like, I knew I was going to vibe with him, and he knew he was going to vibe with me. But I definitely didn't think it was going to get the reaction that it did from his crowd. And so many people were, like, drawn into us and our conversation and the points of views that we made. And even to this day, a lot of people come up to me and say, you know, I seen that Joe Rogan interview. That shit was dope as fuck, blah, 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 this, that, and the other thing. And to me, I get as much pleasure off of that as somebody listening to an album. You know, if you're going to sit down and listen to an interview and hear me talk and explain my point of view, what goes on in my brain, that means that you're really interested. So, yeah, that was a good point. That was a good play for me. So shout out to Joe Rogan, too.
Would there ever be a Wiz Khalifa podcast where you're interviewing people? It seems to be the trend.
It is a trend.
And Snoop's been doing GGN forever.
Snoop has been doing GGN forever, which is low-key a podcast. Anybody who has had a green screen or been like internet talking, interviewing people has been doing podcasts. Just like I've been doing vlogs forever.
Facts. You're the OG on that shit for sure.
To me, artists who do podcasts aren't really artists anymore. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
It's almost like, yeah, I feel like
it's like being a sports announcer after you play basketball.
100%. Yeah, I mean, that's what I appreciate. The one thing I appreciate about Joe Budden is he made the decision to retire from rap and then go all in on that shit.
Right.
Like if you try to do both, I'm like you said,
and I'm like pretty sure he can still rap. It's just as a profession, that's not his thing no more. And you know, being a conversationalist is very valuable these days. You know what I'm saying? And I don't blame people for doing it, but to me, I'm so concerned with my raps and being in the studio and hustling. Like I feel like an athlete. Like I'm still training. I'm still playing games. I'm not at that.
You ain't there yet.
I'm not ready to take that step back yet.
Hey, that's some real shit. I feel like some guys are trying to do both, and it's like, it's cool, but nah, I feel like when that day comes, though, people will open up for you. Like,
it'll be easy. It'll be fucking easy. I could find a way to do it now to make it make sense, where it's not like sit down and, you know, film and talk to Wiz Khalifa for a certain amount of time, because you have to do it for an hour or two or whatever, like blah, 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 this, that, another thing. I'm not even going to go into all that comes with it. I could do it now and make it make sense, but at the end of the day, like, it's like you said, you got to figure out where you want to exist at. And this is something that people, like, they get confused in their head and they confuse other people. It's like, I'm only promoting these 7 jams, bro. Like, when I was on Fox, I was only promoting me being on Fox. When I'm dropping 7 jams and I'm in the streets, I'm promoting that. When I'm on tour, I'm promoting that. And then, you know what I mean? So I don't mix and match and just do shit for the sake of doing it. And from an artist standpoint, I feel like it's way smarter to just rap and make music as opposed to, you know, being a podcast personality.
You know what I appreciate about you is you know, this French Young Thug thing on the internet was really disappointing the last couple of days. I was like, man, this shit is whack. Like, but you ain't never been mixed up with no beef, at least not to my knowledge. Like,
the only thing was like that little argument that Kanye had with himself, but that was about it.
Oh yeah, that's right. But you know, that, like, I'm talking like, that's Kanye. I feel like Kanye's at any given time gonna, you know, say some stupid shit. Anybody does. I mean, he said some really stupid shit about you. That shit was crazy. But I'm saying, like, you just kind of stayed out the way of any drama, man. Like, even like when you and Amber broke up, like, it was real peaceful. It wasn't like some weirdo shit. I feel like even when motherfuckers break up now, it's like some Hollywood Unlocked, you know, shade room.
I feel like times like this, you know, nobody really needs to be beefing. Like, everybody needs to come together and figure out how we can use each other and help each other, feed each other's families, man. Because, you know, people's missing out on shows and people missing events and people's businesses are closing. And I'm sure, you know, both of them dudes got families, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
their mom don't care about their beef with each other. You know what I'm saying? They worried about their house right now. They worried about their groceries. They worried about their siblings going to school. And you know what I mean? It might sound corny, but you get to a certain age where that's way more important than beefing with some nigga on the internet. And I know both of them fools. I got love for both of them fools, but at the end of the day, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? But we all got families to feed, and we need to be more focused on helping each other out.
Positivity. Hey, which battle so far has been your favorite, man? I love that. The RZA Primo one was my shit. But like
that was the one, huh? My favorite one was Swiss and Timbo, the original one.
The original one.
That one and Sean Garrett, cuz
yeah, Sean Garrett was geeked up, comedy.
Man. Hold on real quick.
Yeah,
this is my son. What's up, buddy?
Daddy.
What's up, bub?
Can you go on my Roblox account and do you know how I made that girl unfollow me on my Roblox account at your house?
Yeah.
Can you tell me how? Because I forgot.
Okay.
There's someone following me, and I don't want them following me.
Okay, I got you, buddy. Give me a second because I'm doing an interview right now, and then I'll call you back and you can run me through it and tell me how to do it. All right?
Okay, sorry.
It's okay. Don't worry. Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Hey, yo, my kid is on that same game, bro. What's the Roblox thing?
Roblox, yo.
Oh, my son, my 6-year-old is tough on that thing.
It runs their life.
Like, I bet you spending a lot more time with little man. I know you're with him all the time anyway, but you know, not being on the road and shit. What's been the biggest thing that has changed for you throughout this shit? Are you still able to train and do the shit you do? Like,
yeah, it's all been pretty normal for me. Like, I just been avoiding, you know, contact with anybody, just to make sure I don't bring it around him, or, you know, transfer it to, you know, maybe his mom's house when I drop him off over there or anything. So it's just been taking all the precautionary measures. But as far as business, business is still booming. KK is still doing what it's supposed to do because, you know, the weed business is essential.
Right.
I got studio in my backyard, so I'm still able to record features and things like that. There were a couple projects that we did want to drop, you know, in the meantime that we had to push back. But that's business, and you got to be prepared for that regardless. So, you know, I wouldn't say that this thing really fuck with me too much as far as like the way that I operate.
It's something new, kind of having a second life on TikTok. Did you see that coming, bro?
Now this did help that.
Yeah, right?
I feel like it put everybody in the house, made all the kids teach their parents how to dance, and everybody learned the newest craze. Shout out to the homie who started it. We didn't start that shit, and yeah, it just grew legs, and then it went crazy on its own.
Yo, what I love the fact that you gave the fans what we've been asking for, and you and Currency did a project together again.
Yeah, yep. Shout out to my brother Spitter, man. 2009, still a classic. Getting Loose. I think that's gonna go platinum off of there. So we're gonna have our first platinum record, which is gonna be really cool to hang that plaque up. He's probably gonna buy a car, but I'm just gonna chill.
Yeah, like a Camaro or something. But I feel like you're in the point of time in your career where you could just really do what the fuck you want. Like, you know, like
yeah. My main thing is just, you know, putting on other artists and producers, and just dropping dope ass shit for people to like be proud to, you know, not only be a Wiz fan, but like to listen to music in general. You know, I represent for like our genre. I represent for a certain era in time, or a certain type of people who make music, or artistic, or, you know, intellectual, or, you know, into technology, whatever. You know what I'm saying? All of those things tie into what I do. So to keep that at the forefront and always try to make that look cool, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's one of my jobs.
Well, the saga of Wiz Khalifa.
Yeah, yup.
7 records, man. I know that
7 bangers.
7 bangers. Hey, I told you that record with Quavo on the hook. I like vocally your little pocketer. It's some shit I feel like I ain't heard you sound like that before.
Yeah, I was definitely trying some shit. All the flows on there is pretty much different, man. Like, it's consistent as far as the sound, but every flow is different. I approach every song differently. You know, the way that me and all the features go together, it don't sound forced or, you know, put together. It just sounds super real. It sound like that dope.
That dope. My guy, I appreciate you checking in with me, bro. And
appreciate you too, man. Be safe, man. I'll see you when all this over. I can't wait to come back out to Vegas, dog. I need some Vegas,
we got
man.
grades again.
I need some Vegas. Are we gonna have the pool parties this year?
I hope. Hey, I don't think so. Unfortunately, did you see the mayor of Vegas though?
What'd he say?
The crazy white lady.
What'd she say?
She's like, I'm opening the casinos. This lady don't give a fuck. She was talking about having the Vegas population be like the control group to see if the country's ready to reopen and shit. Like,
I'm cool with that.
She's like a female Trump. Bro.
I don't know about you. I need to be in Vegas at least once a month.
You gotta dodge the Rona though, man. That Rona gonna be out there, boy. I'm telling you.
Hey man, that mask, bro. That mask do wonders. People sleep in that mask, man. Washing your hands and wearing that mask. Motherfuckers are sleeping that shit.
Y'all gotta sell Taylor Gang masks.
Well, the little cloth ones, the little designer ones, them ain't doing shit.
They ain't just doing. You're right. That's facts. All right, my G. I'll talk to you soon, bro. And thanks for checking in, brother.
All right, fool. I'll see you in a little bit, bro.
Yep.